Ooh, I didn't take off some of my lipstick. It's too dark. I almost forgot. Anyway. Yeah, I'm recording. What does it say? Unfortunately, it has stopped. Okay. Is it still going? Anyway, I want to tell you that in spite of what I'm about to do, I'm very careful on my steps. Okay? I'm on the steps. And I got a cup of coffee in one hand with a piece of toilet paper in it. And I've got the log phone in my other hand and a camera card in the palm of that hand. And a necklace hanging. And I made it down the steps, Buttercup. I want to tell you that I'm very careful on my steps. And I want to caution you to be very careful on your steps. And that's kind of dumb to say when I just did what I did. But I knew lately, I found out about two people. Lately, I heard about two people. One woman lived for a short time. She fell down her steps in her home. She was the mother of she had a 16-year-old son. I don't know what other children she had. She lived for a short time and died. She lived and she stayed alive for in the hospital for a week and passed away. She was brain dead from a fall in her home down her steps. And then a man that I heard of fell down his stairs, an adult male, and he is okay. He got badly injured, maybe neurological injuries, and he's okay from what I heard. I wanted to make a video on being my phone's saying something here. I wanted to make a video on being very cautious about going down your stairs. Never down any steps, And they call accidents because you can't plan them and you really can't stop them. They happen. They're going to happen, but I try to be cautious because I go up and down the stairs many times a day, 2 different stairways, my basement and then my upstairs. And it's just, you got to be careful if you know that's a risk. And I know me, and I don't want to fall. I'm not. Anyway, I'm careful on the outside streets too. And what I'm going to make a video on any minute, what I'm planning in my next videos is that it finally went from my head to my heart. There's an expression from the head to the heart. When you really and truly understand something, it goes from your head to your heart. It's the process and the cycle of life, the life cycle. The way things work in people's lives, I believe, is you get a little piece of knowledge here and it gets together, it combines with a little piece of knowledge there, and you sleep and you take care of your health as best as you can. But the sleeping process is where the thoughts get processed. And in my sleep, that's what happens for me. And then when I wake up, I know that this is upon awakening, I get ideas where answers come. Answers come to me in the morning. And I think that's where the expression, everything looks brighter in the morning, I think that comes from that, because everything is more negative for me in the evening. In the evening hours, I'm more despondent and I'm subject more to despairing, and in the morning I'm more optimistic, and that's where connections occur, connections like ideas and answers truly come in the morning. So I had this connection with, I forget where I was, somebody read from the Bible. It was in church on Easter, and one of the guys read Genesis, and he talked about the plants. God made the light and the dark and all this stuff, and then he made us, and then he said he made, and I'm not going to tell you about it because I'm going to make a video on it, but it connected with something. I'm going to take my necklace, I have this necklace dangling from my wrist, so it connected with, now where am I going to put it? Me and my junk. My organizational skills, my great organizational skills. So I put that together with what I grew up with. Okay, when I was growing up, we had our own garden in our house. Everybody had a garden. We were of European descent, and my parents had a garden, and their parents each had gardens, active gardens, while I was a kid. I had grandparents who had, my grandfather had fruit trees, plum trees, and they were the best fruit trees, and everything grew for everybody, And then I'm going to get off topic if I don't watch out. But it was a big process in our house. Preparing the garden was a big process, and that means fertilizing. Fertilizing the garden was getting the soil fertilized before you planted anything was what happened in our house. And that meant my dad had to go to the store, like before Home Depot, and they had everything that you'd find it. So my dad would go to the store and he'd buy big bags of manure. Okay, that was part of the fertilizing process, was manure. I didn't know why. I didn't ask why. Nobody taught us anything. They just knew because their parents did it. And they knew because their parents did it. Both of my grandparents worked on farms on their land in Slovenia, in Yugoslavia, where they grew up. So they both knew how to work a farm. They knew how to work the land. And there's a reason that they are, for the expression to work the land. You have to fertilize land in order to grow crops that sustain life. You can grow a crop, but that doesn't mean, or a vegetable, but it doesn't mean that it's gonna, I got a runner in my pantyhose. That doesn't mean it's gonna sustain life. And this goes into that Genesis thing. He said, I gave you all the vegetables and fruits and their seeds. That's in the Bible. He said, I gave you their seeds. Now think of the apple pectin from the apple seed, the B17 that you get from an apricot kernel. The kernel is the seed, and it says in the Bible, I gave you all the plants and vegetables and fruits with their seed. He said, with their seed. So he gave us it with the seed. That proves to us like how it was made by God on earth. What came first, the chicken or the egg? He gave us the fruits with the seed. It's in their plants and their seeds to eat, and then a semicolon. And the animals. Then he gave us the animals, and that made me think, are we supposed to be vegan? Because he doesn't say to eat. He said, or for you. He just said, then he says, and I gave you all the creepy things that crawl upon the earth. And I'm in church and I'm thinking, and this is just Sunday and today is Friday. And I'm thinking, why did he give us the creepy things? You know, I mean, I step on creepy things. And what that did for me that day was made me think that maybe I don't want to step and just crush these things out, the life out of them, like worms and on the ground and spiders and things. Those spiders I'm going to kill. But, you know, it made me think that maybe I don't want to kill these creepy things because God gave them to us. So this morning I wake up, I take a shower. In the shower, it comes together. He gave us so I'll tell you in the video, I won't tell you now, but all of those things that God gave us is the cycle. After he gave us the life, he breathed the life into us, he gave us the life, then he gave us the things to sustain the life. That's the thing, it's a process. That life cycle thing that you heard about in The Lion King, there's a point to that. The life cycle, there's a cycle, and it starts to do with the animals and their manure. The manure that my parents bought to put into their garden because we didn't have any cows and chickens and other animals to leave droppings in our yard. They knew you had to buy bags of manure, that you had to. And then there was the PKO, which is potassium, nitrogen, and whatever, was it oxygen? How do you buy that? Is it in the bag? I don't know, because I was soon. My mom worked. You know, she was off for a while, and then she went back to work. She was a nurse, and then my grandmother used to come over and do the garden, and then eventually she got older, and they started buying their food at the grocery store, and we just let the garden go, But I never, so I didn't pay attention, but I remember there was one that was nitrogen was a big deal. And the yard stunk. Everybody's yard stunk because they were fertilized with this manure. And there was a purpose. It's because those, I'm going to give you a hint, the creepy crawly things eat the manure and then leave the droppings that they leave, gets into the soil, it breaks it down. Plants can then absorb it, suck it up into the roots, into the cell structure of the plant. And it all came together for me, boy. And that's how the plants get the minerals that feed the humans and provide the nutrition. It's not feeding just to eat, like I eat zingers. It's feeding to get nutrition, as in feeding the brain and the cells and the heart and the lungs, and then disease didn't happen. And there's a whole story behind how that stopped in the United States. And I'll make a video on that too. I think that's enough for today. And it's good to be back on my little vlog phone. The other camera that I thought was good, the sound doesn't seem to be right. And walking with it out in the wind cuts out the sound. And this one too a little bit. This is a Samsung phone. It's a little bit better. So that's a preview of the video, and I'm still trying to wake up. Connie and I had a big day the past couple days, you know. If you didn't meet Connie, you might want to check out Connie's video. She made a video with me. I introduced her, Connie Janselak. And with that, I'm going to say peace, buttercups. Have a great day. Bye.